Welcome back to Against the Storm. This is where we left off, so we're picking it right back up. I moved myself down a little bit to the right and shrunk myself just a little bit to hopefully not be in the way of the interface. I forgot to mention down here we have a list of currently active buffs for our settlement. So right now there are 3, and I think these might stack up. I'll have to keep an eye on how much that encroaches on my image. So reinforced axes, quicker wood cutting, giant of vegetables, which is a perk. So they call, this is a cornerstone, this is a perk, but they're all buffs, right? Bonus, same thing. So this perk says +1 to vegetable production, gain additional vegetable every yield from gathering, farming, or production. So you basically double your vegetable production from that perk. This one says Firekeeper bonus. Lizard Firekeepers are very adept at ancient rites, +1 to global resolve. So your global resolve goes up. I think that's, every race then has one more than they would normally have because you have a lizard keeping the fire. So that's just how it works. So now the alert says choose a blueprint, which we will do now. At this time it says Stonecutter's Camp. An advanced camp can gather large, giant resources, nodes, and additional small ones as usual. Can collect stone, clay, sea marrow. Now, what the heck is sea marrow? I think it's unique to this game. I don't know if it's a real world equivalent or not. You might want to look that up. I haven't Googled it. I don't know. Sea marrow. It's a resource. You can burn it as a fuel for your fire. Stone and clay are useful, obviously, for making things. So we will pick the Stonecutter's Camp. And the objective says we want a Stonecutter's Camp and we want 5 clay in the Stonecutter's Camp, which is exactly what this says. The rewards are +1 to clay production and a pile of 20 stones, right? So that's the reward. Stones are useful for making stone paths, makes people walk faster, and other things. So let's make a Stonecutter's Camp. We'll put that down next to the clay, right here. And we have 3 homeless people again. Fix that. There we go. You don't want your homeless people. It's everybody needs a shelter. It helps resolve overall. And in the more difficult games, when you're really playing it, you need that resolve to stay up. I'm going to mark some more trees for cutting. Open up these glades. We're not required to open up more glades in the tutorial, I don't think. But I'm going to do it anyways because you get stuff, resources. There's the Stonecutter's Camp. So we'll put... Nobody gets a buff for stone cutting. Anybody can cut stone. We'll put a couple lizards in. They can do the stone cutting. Residents. Interesting. Oh, it gives you the names of the residents that are in the shelter. That's cool, man. Rusty Munch Branch. Maya Ashkin. Yonder Twigleg. Oh, man. These are great names. Geralda Stoutcollar. Alfred Amberjack. Magnolia Stonefist. Wow. What kind of lizards? Krahi Stormclaw. Slithra Stormclaw. Apparently they're together. Thorza Greybone. These are great. I didn't realize. I just realized that for the first time. I did not realize that all these characters have actual names that are unique to their race. All right, so we got the clay already. So now we'll turn this in and we'll get a buff to the clay and we'll get the stone and we'll get the extra reputation and we'll get the new one opening up, which is the Harvester's Camp for plant fiber and reed. We have to harvest 5 plant fiber and we get a perk for that, and we'll work on that next. Read more. Logistics. This is good. This is worth reading. If you want to pause it, you can read it, or for whatever. But logistics tells all about how goods get moved around. So, great. Let's choose the new building. Harvester's Camp. Yes, these collect plant fiber and reeds. And we will make a Harvester's Camp over here. Oops. Harvester's Camp. There we go. Oh, here's the storm. Alright, I'll tell you about that in just a sec. So, yeah, Harvester's Camp. See, you see how it says 3 parts? So we need to put 3 parts and 10 wood. And you can either check the warehouse to see how many parts we have, which is 3, or you can actually look to, I think, building materials. It shows 3 parts. So up here, this part of the interface shows you everything that you have. And it divides it into food, building materials, crafting resources, and fuel and exploration. This is important because fuel keeps the fire going. You can use coal. You can tell it, don't burn coal, burn wood, or don't burn wood, burn coal. So save your wood, depending on your circumstances in your game. Different kinds of food. We have bugs, roots, eggs, meat, vegetables, mushrooms, and everybody eats continually. So when they go for a break, when they're working, they go for a break. And I don't think anyone ever actually goes home to sleep in this game. They have houses, but I don't think they ever go home to sleep. You know what I mean? They just either working or they're taking a break and eating and getting clothes or whatever. Yeah. So it's all cool. Let's continue. The storm. So what happens during a storm? Well, there's a big debuff that the storm brings to reputation. Resolve, I should say, not reputation, resolve. So the current resolve, as you can see, 18 to 15, going down to 15, going down to 10, going down to 6. So in a moment, resolve will go down, global resolve. And that will harm your population. And I think, yeah, hostility, it all plays into it. Looming darkness, this is a debuff. Active only during the season storm. Okay. Here we go. This explains it. So this, and again, down here, I don't know if let me just check to make sure I'm not in the way of that. I am. So I'll move myself over to the right, and you're going to see here, these are all the buffs and debuffs. So we have a new one called Looming Darkness. It's a seasonal effect. The rampaging storm stifles the spirit of all living creatures. An additional stack of this effect is added for each hostility level. -4 to global resolve. Okay. Hostility level. Hostility of the forest, level 0. So currently, the effect is -4 to global resolve, but an additional -4 to global resolve will come if the hostility of the forest is level 1. If the hostility is level 2, then you'll get 12 reduction in resolve. If the hostility is level 3, you'll get 16 reduction in resolve. Global resolve, so which is going to send a lot of these guys into the negative, and then bad things start happening. So you don't want your resolve going down. This is why you have to do things to keep your people happy. All right. So that's the whole interface I think I've covered pretty much. Space to resume. Now, over here you can see this is the countdown before the storm is done. The storm is done in another minute and 20. Then we get back to drizzle in year 2, and it's a new year. So we're meant to have the harvester's camp. That's this one. We will get that very quickly. We've got it, and now we want to put people in it. Nobody gets a buff, so we'll just stick a human and a lizard. It's fine. They can work there. That gives us 3 free workers, which is still enough. We've opened a glade. The glade has 3 small flax fields. Alright, no big deal. So you can see here the human and the lizard are working on this flax field. The lizard they're pretty tall. They look like they're just over 2 meters tall, judging by the human size. Maybe 2.5. Pretty big lizards. Right. So that one is done. We can deliver it. So now we've got an additional reputation. 5. Queen's impatience is back to 0. Everything is fine. Crude workstation. That's the next building. Now, a crude workstation is a new kind of thing. It's not a camp. It's like a factory building. So it uses things that you've gathered to make other things that you need. In this case, it produces planks from wood, fabric from plant fiber, bricks from clay, and pipes from copper, which we aren't producing. So, and it can use storm water. Now, the water system in Against the Storm is something I have yet to learn, because when I played this game before, they hadn't implemented it yet. It was a brand new thing, and I quit playing so that I could switch to X4, and I don't know how water works. So I will learn that, and then we'll go through that. So let's pick that, and it wants us to make 4 planks, 4 bricks, and 4 fabric. Alright, fine. Let's do that. New tab has a building in it. It's industry. Notice it's highlighted. So we click on industry, and we click on crude workstation, and we can put it down, well, anywhere really. We'll put it down next to the warehouse. That's probably the best place for it. Because sometimes there is some strategy into where you place your buildings. In the tutorial, it isn't so important, but when you're actually playing on any kind of difficulty, really, you want to be strategic, because it takes your workers time to move back and forth between the warehouse and the production buildings, stuff like that. So that's storm. 30 seconds and the storm will be over. You can actually see the progress bar over here. No homeless people. That's good. So we go in here and we assign a couple workers. We're going to put a human and a lizard, and then they are going to make planks, fabric, and bricks, not pipes, because we don't have copper. It doesn't matter, you don't have to uncheck it, but if you didn't want them to make a certain thing, you uncheck it here. So here it's a bit more complex of an interface than the camps. It gives you a tab for your storage. This shows you the ingredients that they've pulled in and the produced goods that they have made. And it tells you what they can make. So let's give that a little bit of time to get settled in. Coffee break already? Really? Lazy lizard. Going to get ingredients. Going to get ingredients. So they're literally, like, this is the guy right here. This is the lizard. He's going to get ingredients from here and putting them in here. And so now we've got 5 wood in here. And there's about to be another 5 wood. So you can see the 5 wood that he's carrying. That's this wood that this guy is carrying. And this person here, she is going to get ingredients. So this is this person, this human, going back to the place and getting more. So you'll see this go to 10 in a moment. There it is, 10. And now this person is carrying wood, so that'll make it up to 15. There it is, 15. Now this lizard is giving us 5 plant fiber, which means that that will be stored like that. You can see that it's all very, very methodical. There's another 10 plant fiber. And here's even more. We got 15. So it looks to me like they're gathering 15 each of the resources that they need in order to begin working. These are the people who will actually be doing the crafting. So they're not producing while they're gathering ingredients. They have to actually, go and fetch the stuff first, and then, then they'll begin working. So now she's going to get clay, and now this lizard's going to get clay, and they're just going to keep doing this. Once they've got a fully stocked, storehouse, somebody's going to start working. Here we have the human is making fabric, the lizard is making bricks, and the little green progress bar is showing how fast, or how far along they are before they've made it. Over here in this tab, you can see that this is the recipes. So what it's saying here is that 8 wood turns into 2 planks. 6 plant fiber turns into 2 fabric. 6 clay turns into 2 bricks. So that's how that works. And there's other buildings that can do it more efficiently. So like you get a lumber mill, for example. A lumber mill will take planks. It'll take wood, and it'll make more planks per wood than the crude workstation. That's why it's called crude workstation, because it's not very efficient. So there are specialty buildings later in the game, like there's a brickyard that will make bricks very efficiently from your clay, or from probably your stone even. And that's just how that works. So it looks like we're back in Drizzle. Drizzle is going to last for the next 5.5 minutes, which is nice because drizzle is also important for the seasons of crops growing. So when we get into farming later, drizzle is the season when your workers are planting, and clearance is the season when your workers are picking and harvesting. And storm is just when everybody's miserable and just waiting it out. Read more. Glade events. All right. Glade events. This is an important difficulty, or obstacle, I should say, in the game. You can read what this says, and we have a glade event, don't we? Otherwise it wouldn't have come up. Ah, yes. So we've opened this glade. We opened this glade. And what have we here? We have new resources. Now, I didn't read the notification in time, so I have to just go by sight, and I can see that we've got bleeding tooth mushrooms, large. We got 2 of them, and we've got 2 large dewberry bushes. And we can't really do anything with those because all we have is small camps. However, we also have a glade event, which is waiting for your action. Click here. An herbalist's camp, glade event, ruin. A building destroyed by the storm. It can be rebuilt or salvaged. Specialization bonus, forest. Requirements. 1 minute. We can either salvage or rebuild. What shall we do? So this is where you're given a choice, and this is where the roguelike elements start coming into the game, because the choices you make will determine which buffs and which debuffs, for that matter, you have to deal with going forward for the rest of this round. Now, you don't know exactly what's coming because these glades are not opened yet, but you may find that this herbalist camp is really a good idea to keep. Or if you're confident you won't need it, then you can salvage it. And as a salvage reward, you get a pack of roots and 5 parts parts you can use for other things. But if you rebuild it, you get an herbalist camp. How cool is that? So herbalist camps cost 3 parts and 10 wood. But in this case, I can rebuild it for 2 parts. Question is, do we have any free parts? It looks like we do. We have 3 parts. So we can rebuild this. I think I'll rebuild this to show you what that's like. Now, when you rebuild, you have to assign workers. We only have 1 free worker. Oh boy, this is going to be interesting. Hang on a second. We have a cornerstone waiting for us. Choose a cornerstone. So this is more roguelike stuff. A cornerstone is when the queen is like, all right, I'm going to grant you favor. Pick your favor. It's this one or that one. So exploration contract means the Royal Academy wants a detailed map of the region and will supply anyone willing to help gain 20 reeds and 20 clay for each glade discovered. And we'll be opening more glades, whatever, you know. Carpenter's tools. Building materials are the foundation for every settlement. Production is 50% quicker in the building crude workstation. I'm going to pick that because I'm using the crude workstation and I would like things to go quicker. So you pick. All of a sudden, just like that, your crude workstation. Effects and perks. There it is. So under here, you can see that it's got the 50% perk speed. Yeah, so everything is kept track of. It's really cool. Now back to this. I don't have enough people. I don't recall if you need to fill all 3 slots for this to work, or if it just makes it go faster. We can assign one just to see how it goes, but it takes away our free worker now. That is our only free worker. And you can choose a reward, so I will choose rebuild. If I say investigate, recall expedition. Press to recall your villagers. Resources will be transported back to the warehouses and your reward choice will be reset. Right. Okay, so what's going to happen now is my worker will bring the 10 wood and the 2 parts in 3 trips because you can only carry 5. So it's going to be 5 wood, 5 more wood, and then 2 parts. So that's 3 trips from the warehouse to the herbalist camp for 1 person. That's why you want more people. You want more people if you can get them because it makes things go quicker. In this case, we'll just see how it goes. So the humans just dropped off some wood. Here comes the human with another set of wood. That's 10. You can see the human going back. Oh, by the way, you can make paths. Making paths is pretty easy. I'll show it to you later because I don't have any free workers. We have to get ingredients. All right, here's the parts. Now the human is going to investigate what you've chosen to do, which is to rebuild. Now we have a minute to wait. You can see the progress right here. 1 minute. So when that's done, we will have rebuilt the herbalist's camp. Cool. Meanwhile, we have 4 bricks already being made, so let's remove bricks from that. Although, you know what? No, I'm just going to keep it up. I'm going to keep it up because we'll get extra bricks. Those are useful. We'll get the 4 planks and the 4 fabric pretty soon. Yeah, planks and fabric are on the way. Later on, out of the tutorial, you can set limits. Like if you say, I only want 12 bricks, when I got 12 bricks in inventory, stop making bricks. And that's a limit. And you can use limits. It's very, very helpful for automating things. I wonder where it's getting the water to run this watermill. Of course, water is very magical in this game. Herbalist camp. It's done. Already. So now we can assign people to it if we had the people to spare, which we don't. But we have our free worker again, who's off not doing anything, I guess. But an herbalist camp, you know, I could assign the human to it, like that. And then, you know, if I need the human to do other things, I can unassign. The game is very, very flexible. You know, you can pull workers from anything. If I don't need any more vegetables, if I don't need any more wood, you can take the woodcutter's camp, you can take a beaver off, you know, just like that. Boom, free worker. Very easy. Orders are ready to complete. All right. So we have the planks, bricks, and fabric. And as a reward, we're getting 10 parts and 50% of 50% to the amount of goods produced in free workstation. Oh, another one, another 50%. Well, that's interesting. All right, final one. Let's take a quick peek here because I want to see these perks. Oh, so they're different. So this one is 50% quicker, and this perk is 50% to the amount of goods produced. Oh. Is that represented here? It is. Okay, so instead of 8 wood becoming 2 planks, 8 wood now becomes 3 planks, 6 fabric. No, 3 fabric, 3 bricks, instead of 2 because of the perk. So that's a nice reward. Oh, look at that. This is new. This is very new. Okay, so what this does, this was not in the game when I played before. This, I know what it is though. I've heard about it. These arrows, when I select, specifically when I select the crude workstation, you can see where they're pulling resources from. In this case, they're pulling resources from the warehouse where the wood is stored and the clay and the other stuff. And they're pulling resources from the woodcutter's camp, which incidentally has 2 wood in it right now. But if you recall, it takes time for your beavers to walk the 5 wood to the warehouse, and then for your human who's working in the crude workstation to walk to the warehouse to grab the 5 wood that the beaver brought there a moment ago and to bring them back to the crude workstation to build planks. But what they can do now is they can skip that step. And I think this was a user requested feature of the game, you know? So while it was in early access, the people were like, hey, since we're storing wood in the woodcutter's camp anyway, can we just have nearby camps be sources of material for the workstation? And it's like, oh, that's brilliant. So it's much more natural. You'll see them gathering wood from here. It just makes everything a little bit quicker and a little bit more natural. And a little bit more strategic because now you can place buildings next to each other that supply each other. It's very nice. Choose a blueprint. All right. Next blueprint is housing. Specialized housing. Oh my goodness. Well, let's make a... It doesn't matter at this point because what this does, specialized housing increases the resolve for a particular species because it makes them happy because their needs are met more effectively. So I can make a lizard house, but you can only pick one at a time as your new blueprint. You can build a lizard house and I can replace I can I can make lizard houses for my lizards, and that will increase the overall lizard resolve, which is important later in the game, but it doesn't really matter in the tutorial because it's not used for anything. Okay, final task. Open the dangerous glade and then follow the instructions. Don't try to interpret this yet, it won't make any sense. So what we do is we're going to move the woodcutter's camp with M. We're going to move it here. And we're going to mark those trees for cutting. These do have wheels. So these camps have wheels. So they're mobile. That's nice that it considers that. I think all of them do. Yeah, this camp has wheels. They all have wheels. The more permanent ones don't. So if it has wheels, it can be easily moved. Anyway, let's open that glade. Faster. Faster, faster. I have a sinking feeling that this is going to encroach on my little icon, my video down here. I may have to put myself in the lower right corner instead. I can do that for this game. Let's see if I can flippy flippy, so it looks like I'm looking left, but I'm not. That's good. We'll just keep it there. Alright. The drizzle is done. And we are in the clearance. They haven't opened the glade yet. Let's focus their efforts a little bit. Newcomers are waiting. Newcomers. 2 humans, or a lizard and a beaver. Leather. Leather and roots. Let's just grab this. We'll grab this. I think more resources variety is probably better at this point. I don't remember what leather is used for. So now we have 2 humans, but for some reason we don't have 2 extra homeless population. Curious. So this is a dangerous glade, and the mission is to go in there and to follow the instructions. The specific hazard of this glade, if I recall, is a pretty devastating one, and you have no chance to avoid the consequences of it because it's for the tutorial. But, you know, when you're really playing the game, it'll be a little different. As soon as we open the glade, it'll pause and we can assess the situation and figure out how to handle it. There it is. Alright, it's paused. There's an ancient shrine. It's an ancient shrine. What does it mean? So, dismiss that. And we click on it. Oh boy. An ominous shrine from a long forgotten era. It's dangerous, but it might hold some ancient knowledge useful to the crown. What's going on here? Curse of the Forefathers. Okay, so the way that glade events work, that have a threat, is it tells you about what it is in general, and then there's a threat section. The threat, it's got a countdown timer. So in 44 seconds, this event happens. Threats, these effects will trigger if the event isn't completed in time. And down here, to complete an event, you must deliver the specific goods or withstand a period of hostile effects while the event is being worked on. Sometimes both of these requirements apply. All right. So what is the requirements? We have to provide these resources. And when we provide these resources, a minute and a half will go by, and then we get our reward. After scouts clear an event, they will return to a warehouse with the goods looted from it. Rewards such as reputation points and perks don't need to be transported. Okay. What's the threat? You ready for this? Curse of the Forefathers. Consequence. Disturbing the ruins of the great civilization can have great consequences. Kills 3 random villagers. This curse is going to come out of that building and go into my settlement and kill 3 random villagers in 44 seconds from now. Unless I can provide the goods and the timer goes through, at which point it won't happen. So it's going to happen. It's going to happen. There's nothing at all that you can do to stop it. So 3 of the villagers will die. And I've only got 2 free workers, so one of the workers inside will die. And that's just the way it is. So how do you provide the goods? Okay, well, we can provide 4 planks, or we can provide 20 scrolls. Now, what's a scroll? We don't have scrolls. But if you notice up here, the instruction says, change scrolls to fabric in the ancient shrine. And these, you see how it's got the arrows that spin? You can change what the requirement is. So I can change, if I don't have any planks, and I don't have any hope of making planks, I can change this to wood, and now I just bring 20 wood and I'm good, right? But I can bring planks. I've got planks. At least I think I do. Excuse me. I have 10 planks. However, I don't have any scrolls, but I can change it to fabric. 4 fabric. I've got 12. All right. So here's what we're going to do. We need people to bring planks and fabric as quickly as possible to this thing. Each person can carry 5. So I've got 2 free workers right now, and both of them can be assigned to this. 2 humans. So that will bring the planks and the fabric as quickly as possible. Oh! Isn't that interesting? Okay, see, notice the time. Notice the time. It went from a minute and a half with 1 person to a minute with 2 people, which means I'm going to take this woodcutter's camp. I'm going to get rid of a beaver. I'm going to assign the beaver to the ancient shrine and watch what happens to the time. 30 seconds. Dude. That's how these are done. Okay, I get it now. I get it. The more people you put on them, the faster they're done, and the faster you bring your goods. So I still don't think I can prevent the people from dying because it's only got 44 seconds. And these guys have got to get over here in basically 14 seconds. And then, yeah, it's not going to happen. You'll see the curse. It's just... investigate. Click. All right. And just because you're investigating does not stop this clock. And it doesn't start this clock. They got to bring the goods. All right, let's do it. Idling. Don't idle, you dummy. Oh, I put the wrong person for the job. Why are you idling? Oh, I know why you're idling. You're idling because there's nothing to bring. Okay, so this person's bringing planks. This person's bringing fabric. And this person's waiting for the goods to be brought. Oh yeah, okay, see, it's impossible. It's absolutely impossible. Because the goods aren't even remotely brought yet. Here they come. So there's the fabric and the wood being brought. Now, going to workplace. The beaver could have gone to the workplace first. Guys, that's not thinking ahead. So here comes the beaver, right? Somewhere. Now we've only got 3 seconds left. We got 3 seconds before the curse of the forefathers strikes. As long as it doesn't strike one of these guys, right? I guess. Here it comes. There it goes. So there goes the curse. You can see it. Curse is running around. Alright, so the curse has killed a forager human, another forager human, and a stonecutter lizard. They've all died. They just die. The curse has killed them. It's brutal. The game can be brutal. It really can. Okay, and to make things even worse, it never stops. In 5 minutes and 14 seconds, it's going to strike again. So you have to deal with these glade events, these threats. If you don't, bad things will happen repeatedly until you fix it. So you might be scrambling to make planks or something, you know, because it needs it. It's pretty intense. All right, so we've got 15 seconds before this is done. So obviously it's not going to happen twice. But that shows you how it works. 7, 6. All right, so what's going on? Going to rest. Oh gosh, they're all going to rest. And this is one of the little minor annoyances in the game, is that your workers, you can't control. You can't control them. You can't micromanage them. You can't direct them. Go here, go do this, do that. They choose what to do. You can tell them what their orders are, but they only do, you know, in the way that they are able to do it. And right now, everybody's going to rest. Because they just worked hard to fix the shrine and remove the curse. So now they're all going to walk over. I can speed it up. They're all going to walk over to the hearth and have a cup of coffee. There they go, having their coffee. And now, these two are idle, and I can remove them because they're idle. And this person is fetching goods to store. If you go over here, there's that ancient tablet. So now she's bringing the ancient tablet back. And once it's in the warehouse, we get our reward. Ancient tablet. Boom. Order is complete. Deliver. Rewards. 30 amber. Amber is like money in this game. Just consider it coins. There aren't any coins, so this is amber. It's what you use to barter with. And you get a reputation point, and you deliver it, and we're done. Settlement complete. This village has been secured, but there's one more test of your skills. So what do you get? So this is what happens now. At this point, you get rewards that are meant for the citadel, and you can build your citadel up in whatever way you choose. So I get 14 experience points out of 20. I don't know how you get more than 14. I'm not sure what determines that. You got all these things unlocked, and you have 10. You got 10 food stockpiles, and food stockpiles are the main currency that you use to select permanent upgrades to your citadel, and that will improve your embarking for future settlements. You can use those things. So let's continue, but before we do that, I have to end the episode because it's been long enough. So anyways, that's it for the second half, or the second episode of the Against the Storm tutorial. I hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time.